WJHL TV 11 Johnson City, Kingsport, Bristol.
From TV 11, Eyewitness News with Bob Lewis, Tom Myers with sports, and meteorologist Mark Reynolds.
Good evening. Several Greene County parents say they're prepared to fight. The residents are furious after the county school board voted last week to close 3 schools. And tonight, some of the parents got together to decide what their next move should be. Frank Jones was there.
About 50 residents from the Sunnyside community gathered inside the school's gym with one purpose in mind. They want to do everything they can to keep this school open.
I feel that the school board and the superintendent of the Greene County schools have turned their back on us.
The residents are angry over the school board's decision last week to close Sunnyside, Greystone, and Newmansville elementary schools. That decision came following a recommendation from a comprehensive study conducted by the state. The board says closing the schools could save money, but residents disagree.
My little boy Billy went to Mossheim School, and when we moved down here and he started at Sunnyside, his grades came up. And they let him play football, and he's made B's and C's. And when he gets back in a big school where they ain't going to show him no attention, his grades are going to fall again. And they don't care because they're just going to push him on.
Many of the students agree with the parents. They, too, say they're being cheated by the school board's decision.
Some of us said that we'd be going to Chucky Doke instead of going to South Greene, and I really want to go to South Greene.
It's a great school. It's small, and you get a lot of attention.
These residents say they'll do everything they can to persuade the board to change its mind. They've even circulated petitions trying to prove that this community wants to see this school stay open. Frank Jones, Eyewitness News 11, Greene County.
Kingsport city officials are making progress in the development of the Stedman Farm property. Tonight, the city's board of mayor and aldermen named Nashville developer Harold Pierce to begin work on the project. The 300-acre property was acquired by Kingsport nearly 1 year ago with hopes of seeking an industry to locate there. But Kingsport alderman Frank Brogdon says there's still a lot of work to do.
Has to be a master plan developed, a horizontal plan. In other words, how shall a property be laid out for optimum development? Right now it's just raw land, 300+ acres of raw land. So I don't think anyone would expect to see something happen right away.
City officials say they'd like to see an industry on the site within the next few years. 2 striking miners and 2 Pittston Coal Group drivers were hospitalized, and 140 union demonstrators were arrested today at St. Paul, Virginia. Authorities say those arrested were blocking the entrance to the Moss No. 3 coal preparation plant, while the 2 men injured, strikers Sam Church and Norman Cumbo, both of Hayside, were taken by ambulance to Russell County Medical Center in Lebanon after they were allegedly hit by a coal truck. Meanwhile, both sides have agreed to federal mediation of their 4-week-old dispute. Consumer groups and environmentalists are taking aim at Exxon because of the Alaska oil spill. They're asking consumers to boycott the oil giant because of its slow response in cleaning up the spill and the hike in gasoline prices that followed the accident. Meanwhile, Exxon will know within a week whether its revised plan for cleaning up the Alaskan coastline has passed federal muster. Coast Guard Commandant Paul Yost says that's when he'll approve or reject the proposal. He appeared in Valdez today voicing skepticism about Exxon's plan, saying the proposal is very thin. 5 astronauts who endured a last-minute cancellation of their shuttle flight last Friday are back at Cape Canaveral tonight, ready to try again. The crew of Atlantis had flown home to Houston to wait out repairs of a fuel pump and leaky fuel line. The repairs were completed yesterday, and a new countdown began this morning for launching Atlantis on a planetary mission Thursday afternoon. The launch is set for 1:39 p.m. President Bush says the U.S. won't recognize the results of this Sunday's election in Panama if it's rigged, and he's urging other U.S. allies to do the same. Speaking to the Council of the Americas, Bush denounced the massive election fraud he anticipates.
Let me be clear. The United States will not recognize the results of a fraudulent election engineered simply to keep Noriega in power. All nations that value democracy, that understand free and fair elections are the very heart of their democratic system, should speak out against election fraud in Panama.
Bush also touched on the drug problem, saying that drugs threaten citizens and society throughout our hemisphere.
Joining forces in the war on drugs is crucial. There is nothing gained by trying to lay blame and make recriminations. Drug abuse is a problem of both supply and demand, and attacking both is the only way we can face and defeat the drug menace.
Former Tennessee Senator and White House Chief of Staff Howard Baker says even though relations with the Soviet Union are the best in some time, we can't take pleasant overtures for granted. Baker was in Johnson City for an address at an employee relations seminar today. He spoke of his days in the White House under Ronald Reagan and in Congress as a majority and minority leader. On the subject of the Soviet-American relations, does he think President Gorbachev will stay in power?
I hope he does, and I'm rooting for him as long as he continues with his present policies. But if he doesn't, you don't have time to change. You've always got to be prepared for the unexpected, and I think we've already gone too far in reducing the level of our national defense commitment, and I think we've got to restudy that next year.
Baker went on to say the U.S. can be at peace with the Soviets, but only with both eyes open. An abundant spring rainfall may send Tennessee and North Carolina farmers recover from the dry weather of the past two growing seasons. Steve Onosorge has more from Buncombe County, North Carolina.
A year ago, this section of Buncombe County was the driest place in the state. This field planted with corn was a total loss. Hay production was non-existent. Wells dried up, and dairymen were scrambling for feed, having to buy it instead of growing it themselves. Things are a bit greener these days. There's grass in the pastures for cattle, and the hay fields will be ready for cutting in a few weeks. There's been a lot of hope on the farms over the winter.
It's uphill. It's uphill all the way.
But farmers are in better shape than last year. The seed and fertilizer dealers can tell you that.
They're putting more fertilized seed and working, and they feel better about it this year because of the rain.
The scramble for feed is not over, though. Farmers planted rye over the winter, a crop they normally sell, but this time they are keeping it.
We're just trying to stretch feed. I mean, they got to eat something.
Farmers are worried. The silage pits do not have enough to last until this year's corn crop comes in. The rye fields may mean the difference.
See, we're right now out of hay. We ain't got no hay. And all we're feeding silage.
But the muddy fields are giving hope to the farmers. This is where corn will be planted in 2 weeks or so. The question farmers have is, will the good weather continue?
Steve Onosorge for CBS News.
Well, coming up later on Eyewitness News, a deer with an identity problem. But first, a look at the weather. Here's Mark.
Well, that does sound like a bad problem there, Bob. Our weather, we are looking for more showers in the Tennessee Valley. We'll have the complete forecast after this.
It seems the cost of financing a new car is going up and up and up. Until now. Because now your best quality Ford dealers announce financing as low as 2.9% or up to $750 cash back on America's best-selling cars and trucks. That's $2.9 for 24 months, $5.9 for 36 months, or $6.9 for 48 months. The choice is yours. Get low financing or cash back from your best quality Ford dealer now.
Ford dealers, quality for life.
Welcome home to Anderson High Performance Sun Windows. The windows that turn hot sun into cool daylight.
Come home.
Get this 84-page book of window ideas at these Anderson dealers.
Rex Home Center, Abington, Watauga Building Supply, Boone, Wise Lumber and Supply, Wise.
There's a simple truth about Mayfield ice cream that makes it stand out from all the rest. And if you've ever tasted Mayfield, you probably know what I'm talking about. I don't know what else to call it except goodness. Mayfield ice cream tastes like somebody really put a lot of care into it, along with all those wonderful flavorings and ingredients. Ice cream is ice cream, but Mayfield ice cream, now that's something else altogether.
Well, folks, we are still looking at clear skies, although we have clouds over the area now. That may be good news for most area people, as if we keep the cloudy skies, and our temperatures will not drop quite as much as we anticipated. So keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully, we'll still maintain some cloud cover overhead tonight. Right now at the airport, they currently have cloudy skies, and temperature still relatively mild at 51 degrees. Relative humidity at 50%, the winds from the west at 10, and the barometric pressure 30.08 and on the rise. Our high today up to 62 degrees after a low this morning, down to 52, and right now check out some area temperatures from around the region, like Beckley, West Virginia, down to 47 degrees now, 54 in the Roanoke Valley, 62 degrees in Wilmington, 69 for Myrtle Beach, and Atlanta, Georgia holding at 60. Chattanooga, not too bad, still holding at 56, 56 also in Birmingham, and 61, and raining in Memphis. Here's where we are looking for trouble spots tonight. Still a high risk of severe thunderstorm activity from southwest Missouri all the way down into north and central Texas this evening. Already we have had reports of severe weather, a tornado just outside of Dublin, Texas, and baseball-sized hail, folks, near Ranger, Texas. That's quite large, Bob Lewis, as he's sitting over here trying to show me how to throw a baseball. Freeze warning still in effect for northwestern North Carolina and also northern Illinois tonight. And by the way, the thunderstorm activity quite severe out there. Numerous reports of heavy rainfall and even golf ball-sized hail for south central Oklahoma. And naturally, this is that time of the year when we get those thunderstorms to develop right here in this part of the country. Look at our national radar composite, still finding those heavy thunderstorms still located in north central Texas on up through southeastern Oklahoma into much of Arkansas. This activity will continue to push its way on towards the east. We are looking for an increase in our clouds again late tomorrow night. A chance of showers in here on Thursday. Look at that satellite picture. My, it has changed since 6 o'clock tonight. Look at the clouds already advancing now in through the Tennessee Valley. Much of this mainly a blow-off from some thunderstorm activity in Arkansas and also in Oklahoma and Texas. But the activity will continue to push on towards the east. So I think you'll see again the clouds coming in late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening with the chance of showers in here on Thursday. You put this in motion, the folks in the Northeast finally saying, hooray, hooray, the rain has gone. They have been inundated by heavy rainfall up there, at least 2 to 3 inches in parts of Maine, New Hampshire, and also portions of Vermont. While the Southeast today enjoyed a very nice but warm day, especially for the Sunshine State. Temperatures today holding in the 90s down there. And again, the thunderstorms mainly the big worry tonight out through Oklahoma and through north central Texas. The main reason, area of low pressure right here in the Texas Panhandle. Frontal system down to the Gulf Coast. High pressure right here over the Missouri Valley. Why was it so cool here in East Tennessee today? We've had a lot of people ask us that. And one of the reasons, area of low pressure here, high pressure here, and we got a northerly airflow coming down out of the Great Lakes, pulling that cooler air into our part of the country. And by tomorrow, that ridge of high pressure, which is now located over Missouri, will gradually work its way on towards the southeast. As it does, we will begin a slight, and I mean a slight, warming trend here for East Tennessee. So that's good news for us as the thunderstorms, again, the main concentration again for tomorrow will be located in the central and southern plain states. How about your highs for the day? 45 up there in Buffalo, 65 in New York City, 79 for Wilmington, 69 for Memphis and Chicago up to 50, 81 in New Orleans, and ooh, my goodness, look how hot it was out west today. Palm Springs, 102 today. Seattle up to 65 and 90 in El Paso, Texas, also 90 for a record. A tiebreaker down there in Miami, Florida, 72 degrees today. Juneau, Alaska, a record high temperature for those folks, and that is the warmest they have been so early in the season, while Honolulu this morning down to around 60 degrees for a record, also for a record for the month of May. Here's our local forecast for you. Clear and cool tonight. Winds will be light and variable. Possibility now, folks, of some scattered frost in those low-lying areas. For Friday, south 5 to 10, high temperature at 63, and on Thursday, variable cloudy skies. It looks like a 40% chance of showers and a possible thunderstorm. Look for a high at 70 in southwest Virginia and eastern Kentucky. Partly cloudy tomorrow, a high temperature at 65. Western North Carolina freeze warning in effect for tonight, overnight low down to 30. Tomorrow sunny with a high at 58. And Friday through Sunday, chance of showers each day, highs back near 80, and overnight lows into the 50s. And I know Bob Lewis tries still to imagine that baseball-sized hail in Ranger, Texas. A lot of damage in Ranger, Texas. That's our weather for you, Bob.
Well, I've never seen them that big. Something to look forward to, I guess.